So let's have a discussion about my basic financial checklist. Now, this is not a go to, but at the same time, these are some recommendations that I could make to you. This has helped me out tremendously along the way. So, starting off with basic savings. Basic savings, if you see savings number one, two, and three. Yes, I have three accounts in one bank or credit union, and I actually have several accounts. So, one savings account, number one, is merely for savings money to spend. Savings number two is my emergency fund. Now, understand that I have moved on beyond a basic emergency fund of 6+ months put away of all my expenses. In a basic savings account in a bank or credit union, think about it. How much money are you actually making in interest off of that? Slim to none, correct? Right. So I've moved on and had that money now in an emergency fund in a brokerage account. That's right, a brokerage account or a cash management account and or a cash plus account, which is under Vanguard. These are getting a higher yield, a 7-day yield, guys. We're talking 3.65% up to 5 to 6%. The rate does fluctuate. So, something to really consider. Your money should always be working for you. So, don't get me wrong, you need a little money in savings in your bank account, but I believe that bank accounts and credit union accounts, savings accounts, and checking accounts are nothing more than a place to deposit your money and move on and let your money grow elsewhere. So, next is savings number three. That could be for a specific task and or goal. It could be for a vacation. It could be for travel. It could be for, hey, I want to purchase a car, put a down payment on a car. It could be for down payment on a house. Again, I probably would want to put that money into some type of brokerage account, getting a higher yield. Always remember that. Now, let's talk about the checking account. A checking account, most of us are doing direct deposit, hopefully, and it's going into a checking account. And most of us, big no, what we're doing is our money comes in and it goes right back out. It doesn't even have a chance to accrue any interest. My new strategy is to take my check, my workplace check, and or retirement pension, and it goes straight into my brokerage account. And now I am starting to pay utilities and expenses, rent, those kinds of things out of my brokerage account. These brokerage accounts, what's really cool about them, getting a higher yield, they come with a debit card and or checks. You just have to request it. So I have a Fidelity and a Vanguard account. So next, let's talk about money markets. Okay. So money market accounts are accounts that are vested in the market for us at a very mediocre yield, but that money is still accessible. Remember this, okay? So now, remember I discussed those cash management accounts? So those cash management accounts are actually the money is being stored in a money market account, getting a higher rate. Now let's jump to the CDs. CD stands for certificate of deposit. You may have also heard it as a share certificate. And you see that I have laddering as an option. So back in my younger years, I started laddering CDs. So a certificate deposit is where you deposit a lump sum of money, more so, let's just say $1,000. And that money grows at a rate, it could be 3%, 4%, 5%, sometimes 6%. And it's also a certain term. Here's the catch though, guys, is that a CD, your money is locked in. It could be locked in for 3 months, 6 months, a year. It could be 18 months. It could be 2 years. It could be 5 years. The point is your money is locked up. You can withdraw from a CD, but there are penalties and or fees that accrue. So let's talk about other ways of basic financial saving. 401ks. I'm sure we all have heard of these. If we're working in a standard workplace, a lot of workplaces carry a 401k, which is an investment account. The big thing here is taxes. It's tax deductible. And there's a large amount of money you can invest. Some employers, you're investing in that actual company. Some others, you're investing in multiple companies, but it's being managed by your employer. Yes, it could also be called an exclusive K, which is mainly focused more on small businesses. So on a 401k, there could be what's called a match. This is real enticing to us, right? But it doesn't always mean that this is the best option. I'll tell you something that I would really recommend you do. If you go to YouTube and you put in the retirement gamble, there's a great documentary on the 401k and how it has been impacted over the time. Yes, I invested in a 401k and I did well with a 401k. But like I said, I'm an old guy now. That's a joke. So next is going to be traditional IRAs, Roths, IRAs, SEP IRAs, mutual funds, and or ETFs. Let's break that down. So a traditional IRA is a more traditional individual retirement account, IRA. Again, there's tax benefits to investing in these. Right now, I'm able to max mine out at $7,000. It depends on your age. And so a traditional IRA now has been replaced by the Roth IRA. Now, there are still traditional IRAs that you can get. A lot of times you will find seniors or people who are older having a traditional IRA because that's all they had back then. The Roth now is another tax deferred account that you can invest into. Note to self, if let's say you had a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA and you're contributing to either or, for me example, I could still only contribute up to 7,000. So I could put 3,500 into my traditional, I could put 3,500 into my Roth. And then lastly is the SEP IRA. SEP is self-employment pension plan. These are for small individual businesses, for entrepreneurs like myself. These are a great place. And I think you can invest up to $66,000 into these at this point in time, which is a big tax benefit. Okay. Now, inside of these, we can invest in stocks, mutual funds, or ETFs. Now, if you notice, I don't have stocks here because this is how long I've been working on this sheet. And now I've transcended into I invest in stocks, dividend-based stocks preferably, and mutual funds, and or ETFs, and or index funds. And these are baskets or buckets of stocks, different stocks. It could be the S&P 500. It could be just basic individual stocks. They could be accrued with you can accrue dividends with these dividend stocks, and or it just could be a stock, an actual IPO stock that will have to either grow or decline. Now, other ways to save. HSA, that's a health savings account. This is to supplement and or help pay premiums and or cover medical expenses, and this is a great way to save. Here's a catcher to HSAs that we're starting to discover. An HSA, once you become of age, 59 and a half, it is now eligible just for a mere retirement account. That's right. So you can save tax deferred, pay for doctor's visits, pay for medication, things when you go to the Walgreens or the CVS. But then also, once you retire, you can also use this as a secret retirement account. Now, other ways of saving for our youth. I did this for my daughter, a 529 or some type of educational fund. It could be a UTMA. It could be a Roth IRA. Those kinds of things also are places where you can invest or save. Here's something at the bottom that I wanted to really talk to you about, and I would like for us to get there together. Borrow from yourself. Other ways of saving and investing long term is to create good credit. Get yourself a line of credit, which is called a line. A line of credit is called an LOC and or a signature loan. And we'll get into those later. Last but not least, credit cards. I recommend getting yourself a credit card, but get a credit card that you can actually afford to pay off every month. If you have to start off with $200 or $300, then do so by getting a secured credit card, and then increase yourself to $500 and increase yourself to a couple of thousand. But keep it conservative to where you can maintain it. A lot of people in the past used to get a lot of credit, and I've been there myself. And when you get a lot of credit and when you spend a lot of that credit, guess what? Now you're in debt. And that's what we don't want, right? But the main point that I want to stress is don't be afraid of a credit card. Use it wisely. Use it to pay your bills every month, your utilities, and pay it off every month. And guess what it does for your credit? Build your credit. So that's just a basic financial checklist that I have used over time that I would like for everyone to take a look at. You may want to add to it. You may want to subtract from it. But the most important thing is that you have a checklist or a blueprint. And we will talk to you soon. This is BG Intentional. Take care.